Hey guys, we're back with another tutorial, and this week I'm going to show everybody how I normally crop out my wraps to go to the printer in order to create a seamlessly installed piece, or somewhat seamless. With a 54-inch printer, that's what we're going to be setting this up for. You're not able to do like an entire truck door. Normally this door edge here and this door edge here is a little bit over the 52-inch print width that you actually get out of a 54-inch printer. You can squeeze another ½ inch every now and then. I think ours is normally about 52.3 inches is our actual print width on the 54-inch. So what we're going to do to begin with here, I'll just show you my image size. Again, I'm still working on this small laptop, so you notice I've got the resolution down to 45 dpi. And this is going to be really important to remember what resolution you've been working at during this process. And so you see our 300-inch by 108-inch or so image here. So the first thing I want to do is get a new document, and what we want to do is set this to inches, and then on the width I'm going to go ahead and make that the exact print width of our printer. And on the height, this can be anything because we're going to be changing that based on the different panels that we crop out. So I'm just going to go ahead and make that 60 inches. And remember that our actual resolution of this image is 45 dpi. So if I make this at 72 dpi and drag it in there, it'll be way too big. So you have to remember to keep your resolution exactly correct for the document that you're dragging it into. Otherwise, your measurements will change. And the reason why that is that Photoshop actually only recognizes the pixels. I mean, it gives you measurements based on the settings that you have, but you can change the resolution and the inches without ever adding or taking away pixels. And we can get into that in another video, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But just remember, when you're doing this creation of this document, go ahead and set it to the correct resolution. And the next thing I'm going to do is grab my marquee tool and just put a stripe across here somewhere in the middle that's going to signify the 52-inch width that I have. And if I right click my ruler, I can set that to inches, and then you'll see, yeah, this is the 52-inch, and this one here is obviously over 55, so that's the 60-inch. Next thing we're going to do, by the way, to dump paint in there, I just control backspace and it dumps the background color in. So I'll just drag this onto my document, and we might as well move it all the way to the front here. And if you notice that my door edge is hanging off on this side and hanging off a little bit on that side, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because we don't need it. And we can zoom in here. By the way, this image that I've got on here is Catalyst, and that's a vector wrap file off of our website. I think it's $59 or something like that. Really useful because you can just use bits and pieces of it to create your wrap. So another thing I like to do is reduce the opacity on my square here in order to see through it. And so now I can move this around on the vehicle, and I know exactly that's 52 inches. And so obviously I can't get the door vertically. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and crank this image sideways. And remember, when you're scaling this, make sure that you're using shift to do a perfect 90-degree transform when you're rotating your piece around. Otherwise you'll end up with a wider than 52-inch piece. Other than that, you can scale on this axis here. So if you had several people that were going to help install this, you could actually print this entire side right here in one full piece like that, and this would be a perfect selection area. If you were doing it alone and you were going to piece each individual panel together to get your seamless install, you would drag in, give yourself just enough overlap here that you can get your hands on it and not contaminate the adhesive that's actually going to stay on the vehicle after trim, and then click OK, and then you can load selection on this. Select load selection. It's going to go ahead and give you your marching ants, and then the next step here is just turn off your template layers and the square that you made, and then we're going to go edit, copy merged, and this is going to copy all of the different layers that you have built into your wrap. This one's obviously just a couple of layers, but it's going to copy all those layers into one document. File new, click OK, and paste it in there. And just to double check yourself, you can go image size, and yep, there's a 52-inch height by a 67.5-inch width. That'll fit perfect in the printer. You can go ahead and save that out. Another good idea to do is, if you have space, you can go ahead and grab your text tool and type driver's door on this in just whatever color it's going to be, and just make sure you keep it all the way to the edge up here where you're going to trim it off, something like that. And I just jam it right off in the corner, and now you can save this as the driver's door. I always save mine as a JPEG after I'm done finally working with it. It's just a smaller file size, and really, if you only do it once, you're not going to end up with a lot of loss in your quality as far as your file goes, so you don't have to worry about messing with a TIFF or an EPS or anything like that. And rather than save this, I'm just going to cancel it because we don't actually need it. So the next thing you'll do is come back in, turn your template on, select, deselect, and we're going to go ahead and grab our square again and move it over here like this. Zoom back in so we can see. And you notice we've got a bit of an overlap here, but that may not be quite enough. So what I can do is adjust this forward, because it looks like this panel ends right here at the headlight. Comes on up. So that'll be plenty of overlap. Again, control click on the picture gives you a selection of that layer. Turn off your template and your guide that we built here. Control Shift C to copy merged. Control N to get a new document. Control V to paste, edit, or excuse me, file, save. And we're going to go ahead and save that as your driver's front panel. Again, go ahead and type your text out if you need to, and label that so that you know exactly what you're looking at. So essentially that's about the gist of it. You would just move this around, for instance back here on the bed, give yourself plenty of overlap, grab it and stretch it out. Remember, this is our 52-inch area. Give yourself plenty of room, select it, turn this off. Now you're ready to save that as your driver's bed. And so there's a quick tip. Sorry it's taken us so long to get another video out. I've actually been setting up my new computer. We're getting really close to having that guy ready. If you want to see the system specs here, it's the Intel i7 7700K 4.2 gigahertz CPU, 32 gigs of RAM, pretty decent video card, so we can maybe do some more of these videos with that computer online. The main thing that I really think is epic about this machine with the solid state drives that it has is it literally boots in 12 seconds. And when I double click Photoshop, it's under 3 seconds. It's between 2 and 3 seconds to go from no program open to ready to work in Photoshop. And it's just amazing. I can't explain how nice this computer is, but it'll be soon. We'll have some videos coming out using that, and we'll be working in full scale easily without any trouble. Oh, and I got an email from a guy the other day. This is my son. Anyways, he's a motocross racer. Okay? So to answer your question, Josh. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and hope to see you next time.